Microsoft's Xbox Game Showcase was supposed to showcase games that were going to highlight the best parts of what the Xbox Series X has to offer, and hopefully entice fans to want to add it to their shopping list come this holiday season. So tell me why one of the biggest games for Xbox did not deliver. I'm talking about you, Halo Infinite. Before we get to that, guys, hit that like button, because liking these videos lets me know that you love them. Make sure to subscribe and notification bell so you miss any videos just like this one. Let's get to the news. Over 30 games were presented during the Xbox Game Showcase, including Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, Forza Motorsport, State of Decay 3, and the fourth entry in the Fable franchise, Fable 4. The majority of the titles announced looked like they were taking advantage of the Xbox Series X powerhouse specs, and were delivering beautiful and immersive graphics. Games for the Xbox Series X have a lot to work with. What looks like a small gaming PC with its boxier design, the Xbox Series X packs an 8-core AMD Zen 2 processor running at 3.8 GHz, a custom RDNA 2 AMD GPU that puts out 12 teraflops of graphic processing power, and 12 gigs of GRD6 memory. The next-gen console will also have ray tracing, a super-fast SSD, and potential 8K capabilities, while also being backwards compatible with 4 generations of Xbox games. So after watching the Halo Infinite gameplay, I can say that I was disappointed. Past teasers and trailers looked better than what they showed at the event. It just didn't scream next-gen game to me. It seemed like it was more of an Xbox One game trailer. I even commented on my Twitter that maybe they got the trailers wrong and they showed an Xbox One graphic trailer instead of an Xbox Series X one. I mean, that would be silly given that this is an event for the Xbox Series X, and you would think that this has been vetted from, executives and PR people and whoever, but you never know. Mistakes can be made. Now, I know some of y'all are going to dislike this video and even give me comments down below about, my criticism against Halo, but, despite all that, I actually like Halo, and I've enjoyed the original Halo ever since it came out in the original Xbox. It was one of the first games I'd ever played that actually did well in multiplayer, like, I'm talking really good. I think with this new release and just what the teasers and past trailers have been promising, I was just expecting, jaw-dropping graphics, and I just don't really think that it delivered. Now, just to make sure I wasn't watching something in error when I watched it on the, live stream on YouTube, I went back and rewatched the same trailer again on YouTube, and yeah, it did not change my opinion. Now, as I'm saying this, I'm trying to say that by all means, it does not look like an ugly game, and there are parts of it that I do think look way better than past Halo iterations. My whole point with all this is saying that it's just not next gen. It does not feel like an Xbox Series X game. I mean, after seeing trailers and gameplay for, Senua Hellblade 2 and Forza Motorsport and Fable, State of Decay 3, that was freaking awesome when she sees the deer. So why, after all that, Halo couldn't bring it? It was the very first game up to be played, to be displayed in the whole event. So, you gotta lead in big or you're gonna lose your audience. Now, there's still time to make adjustments of the game, I'm sure. So, maybe before the game actually gets released, because we got to the holiday, they can put out software updates and, betas and stuff like that. And maybe with all that, it'll get it up to par with some of the other games. Now, if you ask me whether I'd purchase Xbox Series X just based off the Halo Infinity trailer alone, my answer would be no. After now watching the Xbox Series X event and then the PS5 event before it, I would say that the Xbox is kind of lackluster. And there could be a few factors that contribute to that. In my opinion, it just seems like the overall structure of the event just seemed kind of small and in some places kind of rushed. I know gamers just want to see trailers and teasers one after the other, just get it over with, but sometimes you need that human interaction from either executives at Xbox or developers to kind of help facilitate you along, interludes and kind of get you going on, segues. It is kind of makes the event feel fuller, bigger than it really is, and just overall more well-rounded. I think that overall the games that were showcased just didn't give the oomph that I think some of the games in the PS5 event did. That's not to say that some of the titles that were announced weren't worth playing, and I definitely found some that I did want to play. I just think that compared to some of the games announced at the PS5 event, they just seem kind of, lackluster. I think that maybe, while they did show a lot of exclusives to the Xbox, and there were some games that were cross-platform, I think if they had showed more of the games that people, know and love, like Resident Evil or Grand Theft Auto or Assassin's Creed, more of those games that could showcase Xbox Series X graphics that fans want to see also on top of the Xbox exclusives and indie games, I think that may have given it more, talk and stuff like that. I think the developers of those games could have maybe shown an Xbox Series X specific trailer for those games, kind of like Destiny 2 did. So I think if they had done that, that would have just kind of added to that, and I think given more talk of the town effect for the Xbox Series X event. Now, while Microsoft didn't surprise us with any hardware announcements, as we previously thought might have happened in a previous video I did, they did let us know that all the games that were showcased at the event would be available in their Game Pass subscription service. Xbox's Game Pass Ultimate service is a subscription service that gives you access to over 100 games and Xbox Live Gold access. As someone who hasn't currently transitioned to Game Pass from the OG Xbox Live Gold, I don't know how I feel about making the move. For $14.99, I get access to play online with my friends in multiplayer matches and now have access to tons of games. I know with the Gold service you got free games every month that you could download and enjoy, so now with Game Pass you get a Netflix-style access to content all the time, and all these games are available at your leisure. With next-gen games looking to cost $70 or more, Game Pass sounds like it could be a more enticing offer. I think if more people sign up and take advantage of the Game Pass subscription, then that could push Xbox into a more strictly digital market. I don't know how the exact pricing for a 4K Blue player in the Xbox Series X works, but I know that the Xbox One all-digital version probably sold well enough for it to be a viable long-term option. So as I've said, while I don't think the Xbox Series X event left me wowed, and maybe wasn't what I was necessarily hoping for, that doesn't mean there weren't titles that did get me excited and that I would definitely want to play. So here's a list of my top picks for the top 5 games from the Xbox Series X Game Showcase event. At number 5, we have Avowed. Avowed is a first-person RPG set in the medieval fantasy world of Eora, complete with swords, magic, and monsters. That name will sound familiar to some, including fans of Pillars of Eternity, Obsidian Entertainment's CRPG series, that is also set in the fantasy world of Eora. While it looks like it could be Obsidian's answer to the Elder Scrolls, Avowed was built for the Xbox Series X and looks to deliver a game that could be better than its predecessors. At number 4, we have Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis is the latest entry in the Phantasy Star Online 2 universe. A complete overhaul of the game with improved graphics and a new user interface, New Genesis showed a lot of hectic melee combat as characters can fight a variety of monsters in a lush forest planet. The changes from the current version of PSO2 are distinct, with the environments looking bigger, more detailed, and the general look of the game feeling much more modern. At number 3, we have The Medium. From the Bloober team, Medium is a third-person psychological horror game that features patented dual reality gameplay. Discover a dark mystery only a medium can solve. Explore the real world with the spirit of the world at the same time. Use your psychic abilities to solve puzzles spanning both worlds, uncover deeply disturbing secrets, and survive encounters with the Maw, a monster born from an unspeakable tragedy. At number 2, we have Senua Saga Hellblade 2. Senua Saga Hellblade 2 from Ninja Theory takes the foundation of the first game and builds on it, exploring how madness and suffering shape myths, gods, and religion. In the first game, Senua went on a journey into hell and confronted all sorts of mythical beasts and deities, including the fire giant Surt and the god of illusion, Valraven. She also made peace with the darkness inside her. The developers later confirmed were designed around modern-day descriptions of psychosis. The sequel looks to be taking an even darker tone, delving into ideas of Pict and Nord rituals and sacrifice. And my number 1 pick is Fable. With the new studio, Playground Games, Fable, the 4th entry in the franchise, looks to get a fresh start. The teaser trailer was presented in a very Apple-like fashion by the head of Microsoft Studios, Matt Booty. It had swords, magic, fairies, frogs that eat berries, and Albion glimmering in the distance, all while a voiceover welcomes us back to the world of Fable. The world is filled with stories of legendary heroes and treacherous villains, of fantastical creatures and wondrous places, where nature and magic live in perfect harmony. Not all stories have happy endings, but yours has yet to be written. And those are my top 5 picks for the Xbox Series games that I would play that were showcased at the Xbox Series X game event. Goodness gracious, that's a long sentence, but there you go. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about the Xbox event. Did it get you excited? Did you like Halo Infinite? I mean, I love the game overall, and to be honest, guys, if I buy an Xbox Series X, I'm going to buy Halo because I'm a Halo fan in general. So even though I'm dogging the game for the graphics and I think it could be better, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, I would play the game. But let me know in the comments below if you would play the game, if you agree with me about the graphics, if any of my top picks are games that you enjoyed and would want to play, I want to hear it down below. And that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos just like this one, hit that subscription button, notification bell, and I'll see you guys next time on the Mashup.